Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewiński and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight Tuesday, Russian forces launched 49 attack drones and 4 ballistic missiles at Ukraine. According to preliminary reports, 5 of those missiles and drones hit targets across 6 different locations. In Kharkiv, 6 people were injured when Russian strikes hit the city with drones and 3 guided aerial bombs. Regional authorities say 8 apartment blocks, 17 private homes and other civilian infrastructure were damaged. According to Ukrainian officials in the Sumy region, 4 civilians were also injured by shelling. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials say the number of wounded in the September the 30th Russian strike on Dnipro has risen to 31. That attack targeted civilian infrastructure in the city. In turn, Russia's Rostov region was targeted by Ukrainian drones, resulting in 2 districts losing power overnight. The regional governor said electricity supplies were cut to several villages, while falling debris set fire to dry vegetation and the roof of a building. No casualties were reported. Also overnight Tuesday, a fire broke out at an oil refinery in the Russian city of Yaroslavl. Local authorities insist the blaze was industrial in nature and not the result of a drone strike. Videos posted online, however, show large plumes of smoke rising from the site. The Yaroslavl refinery is one of Russia's largest, producing gasoline, diesel fuel, jet fuel, liquefied gas and fuel oil. Now, on the front line, Russian troops are fighting inside residential areas of Kupiansk and pushing closer to the city center. Analysts warn further advances there could encircle Ukrainian defenders holding positions in the middle of the city. And in the Liman sector, Ukraine's deep state monitoring project reports Russian gains in the Bryansky forest. A Ukrainian soldier in the area reported that Russian forces are trying to cut off Ukrainian supply routes through Liman and are striking river crossings over the river of Seversky Donets with drones and aircraft to prevent reinforcements from arriving. In the Kharkiv sector, Ukraine's Special Operations Forces struck a decisive blow against Russia's so-called elite 810th Marine Brigade. Operators from the 1st Detachment of the Ukrainian 144th Special Operations Forces Center secretly advanced on their enemy's positions, launching their assault with a single shot that took down the 1st Marine. Now, the group methodically cleared the trenches, eliminating 2 more disoriented Russians. Finally, they cornered 1 Marine in his dugout, leaving him no choice but to surrender in what is yet another reminder that Moscow's elite forces are often elite only in name.
А отут в укритті і зупиніться. Прийом. Подивися, ходи сюди. На 2 часа ствол настав і тримай в разі чогось. Вліво, зірачки. Зірачки. Тому, от там. Ти бачиш? Диви. Есть. А сколько?
Я один тут.
За руками вперед. Ты с какой части?
810-я бригада.
Выходи. Четко 200. Все, сиди, держи его на контроле.
Смотри.
Сколько вас тут было?
Было 4.
Победа будет за нами. Плавал, ребятки, Він свіжий. 2. Він свіжий. Мужчини контролю, йду зафіксувати 3-го Свіжий.
From the ground, the moment when a Ukrainian interceptor drone collides mid-air with a Russian Lancet Kamikaze drone looks like a flash of light, followed by fragments scattering in the sky. The sharp explosion cuts through the silence, leaving behind a trail of smoke and debris raining down. It's a rare but striking sight, drone versus drone combat, witnessed live from below.
Давай, давай, догоняй. Ай, красиво.
The latest footage from the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence Special Forces shows the grim fate of another Russian soldier on the front line. Hunted down by an FPV operator from Ukraine's Active Operations Department, the exhausted invader dropped to all fours, crawling through the bushes in search of cover, only to meet his demise. This situation also underscores one important thing. In many occasions, the Russians would actually surrender to Ukrainian drones, and this has been practiced many times over. So perhaps that soldier actually didn't know that, or the Russian propaganda told him that surrendering to the Ukrainians would meet a fate worse than death. It would certainly not, but regrettably, the situation cannot be reversed anymore. Perhaps some Russian soldiers, hearing this, might actually reconsider, knowing that surrendering to a drone is an option, and is often actually better than sticking with the Russian units, which are fighting against Ukrainians, but often not really doing that well. Now, moving on to our next story. Ukrainian soldiers continue their missions even under the cover of darkness, using night vision equipment and coordination to move across the battlefield. Every sound becomes sharper, every movement more cautious as they operate in conditions with minimum visibility. Despite the risks involved, working at night gives them the element of surprise against the Russians. In Russia's Samara region, oil refineries are now being shielded with massive metal frames in a desperate attempt to fend off Ukrainian drone strikes. These skeletal structures are meant to act as barriers, preventing drones from hitting key storage tanks and processing units. This unusual approach highlights just how vulnerable the Russian energy sector has become. And with this, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. Next deployment at the same time tomorrow, and in the meantime, please stay with us here on TVP World.